Hey everyone, Eric the Clueless Homesteader here again. It's been a while since my last post. I've been busy working away out here. I'm working on building a platform for the base for a 8x10 Suncast utility shed that we're going to convert into our chicken coop for the 8 chickies we have coming. So I've been busy working on this. It's taken me about 3 days to get this far. I honestly thought I was going to have this done and the shed up by now, but things don't always work according to plan. I'm trying to be good and take it slow and make sure that I get everything done properly and as squared off and as level as I can so that the shed doesn't fall apart on me. So I'm going to show you quickly what it is that I've done here, and then yeah, we'll go on from there. So I'll say about the Suncast, I don't have the shed paperwork with me, but I'll do another video on that when I start building it. Wasn't very helpful as far as it gave you the material list for what you needed to build if you're doing a wood foundation. So it's 2x6s. They are 10 feet long, 8 feet wide, 2 4x8 foot plywood sheets, 3/4 inch thick. And then I had to trim another one down to size, and that one's about 25¼ inches wide by 8 feet long. That covered up the base. So there's I think there's 7 total 2x6x10s that run the length of this, and then for the width, there's just the end ones are 8 foot 2x6 boards. I'll show you up close here. So what I had to do for my foundation, and everything you see here was pretty much bought at Menards besides the black tarp that I picked up on Amazon, and that was for when I was doing the prairie seed foundation in the front driveway. So I've got general utility rock from Menards that is down about 6 to 9 inches deep, depending on which hole you're looking at. And then these are just deck piers that I use that are sitting rested in there. And so the concept that I went with is that I squared everything off this corner over here and then made the deck level because it slopes down this way off towards the other side of that where that brush pile is. So my hill generally slopes down that way. So I had to level it out. So these ones are a little bit closer to the ground, and then down on this side, these guys sit a little bit higher up. Put a black tarp down for a vapor barrier underneath, and that's got more of that utility stone underneath it as well. I think a 30-pound bag was like $5 or something like that at Menards. There's all this lumber here is green pressure treated lumber. My shed's gonna sit on top of this obviously, and then after a year, the guy at the store told me you're supposed to let your pressure treated lumber dry for a year, I guess, before you stain it. So I'll come back and stain these exposed parts when it comes time. Here's the board I cut 2x5. And again, the instructions did not tell you how to fasten this down. So what I ended up doing is I just decided to go with 4-inch deck screws. Let's see if I can find a spot. Right there. That I picked up again at Menards because that's my closest shop. I think it's a T30 head. Can't quite remember though. And so I went every 6 inches. I put a screw in, staying at least an inch in on the plywood to make sure that I didn't scrape that apart. So every 6 inches, there's a screw going into the 2x6 stud frame. So it's gonna sit down about yay far in. As far as measuring it goes, I'll be honest with you, I didn't really know what I was doing, but I knew that here is where I screwed the end cap of the base into the 2x4s that run lengthwise down this whole thing. So I knew that if I measured from one end to that screw, I was gonna be just about in the middle of the top of the 1.5 inch wide 2x6 board. So I made that measurement, and then I made marks all the way down, and then I took my 2 foot long ruler / leveling tool, and I made marks Well, first I made dashes all the way down, indicating my 16.5-inch measurement to these screws in the board. I made marks all the way down, and then after choosing a starting point, I measured 6 inches apart on that line and did that all the way down for all 7 of the stud frames that are underneath this plywood right here. Go slow, take your time, make sure that you're getting even measurements on everything, because there's no turning back after this point. Who knows what kind of settling is going to happen and what kind of adjustments I'll have to make later on. I'll do a repost on that. So I just finished up getting the last of these screws in. I left one that I'm going to do at the end here. After that, the rain's coming this afternoon, so I got to stop here till my next set of days off from work. Hopefully I'll get some family or friends over to help me actually build the shed, get that done. From what I've seen online, most people say it takes 4 to 5 hours to build. I don't know if I'll do a video on it, but I'll definitely do a recap in the end. That'll sit on here. And then the next plan after we get the shed up is I got to start to build the permanent chicken run, which is going to sit on this side here. It's going to be 8 feet wide. And I'm going to go all the way across to these poles here, and that's about 16 feet. So it's going to be an 8 foot by 6 foot, 16 foot run. Probably 7 feet tall at this end, and I'll have a slope down to about 6 feet tall on the other end so that the snow can run off. You can see there's Rex, always out here helping. If you can see that metal caging over there, that is where my apple trees are, so those aren't too far away. But the whole plan is to get the chickens in here, and everything slopes downhill that way as a runoff. And then after I get the permanent run in, the goal by the end of this summer here is to take T-posts and a couple larger posts that I'll cement in the ground and do a whole entire outline of a trail line that we have here, and I'll do that in another video. But these chickens are going to have tons of room to play in the end. That is the goals. All right, I'm going to get this last screw in. I'm going to move on to putting the cage on my last apple tree, and then I'll be done. I have no clue, based on the instructions given, if this is the exact way I should have put this together, but it seems like it's going to be pretty sturdy. Oh, and then once I get the shed up, I've already ordered it, but I've got these things called bullet anchors that are coming from a specific website, and I'll show you guys those when they come in. And what I'm going to end up doing with that is you drive it down into the ground 2 to 3 feet. Then I'm going to bolt it into the side of this 2x6 here on each corner. And that's how I'm going to anchor it down for the bigger storms. So I'll do a video. Hopefully I'll do a video on that when those come in and I'm ready to install them. So that's my approach to building the platform, the base for this 8x10 shed that we're putting up for the chickens. There's going to be a lot of modifications on that, so come back to see what we've built with that there. Let me know what you guys think. Wait, there's one last thing I wanted to show you. So an indicator that I did, here's I know my 2x6 comes in from right here, from these screws right here. I did my measurement in, and then I drew a line off the dot indicating which way I wanted the screw to fall. So here's my center line where I think the 2x4 or 2x6 is. And I drew a line, a dash line going in. If I wanted to be to the right of my center line, or I would do, here's a good example, right here. So I did a line to the right indicating I want to be just to the right of my center line so that I try and hit dead center on that 2x6. that battery is about worn out. I've had to charge my 20 volt, I've had to change this 20 volt battery about 6 times throughout doing this whole entire thing. Drains the battery pretty quick. That's kind of what this end, the down sloping end, looks like. I'll show you here. And again, just randomly check all the leveling that you can out there. Take your time. Don't want this thing blowing away in a storm or falling apart before it needs to. All right, y'all, stay safe out there. Let me know what you think. Thanks.